Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. Sometimes love doesn't fade, it just learns to stay silent. That night in Beijing, beneath the calm city lights, something extraordinary happened. Menglong, once the smiling face that defined countless youthful dramas, quietly celebrated his birthday, unaware that destiny had one more scene left to play. When the door opened, and Xing Fei walked in holding a small, familiar gift, time itself seemed to pause. In that moment, every heartbeat in the room and online felt the same tremor. Was love making its silent return? The quiet hum of conversation filled the small room, yet beneath its simplicity lingered an emotion too powerful to name. The birthday gathering was never meant to be public, never meant for cameras or headlines. Just family, a few close friends, and the calm air of familiarity. But fate, it seemed, had planned something else. When Xing Fei walked through that door, the atmosphere shifted instantly. It was not dramatic, not even loud, but the stillness that followed spoke volumes. Everyone recognized her, yet it was Menglong's expression that captured the moment. For a brief second, he seemed frozen between disbelief and the faintest flicker of joy, as though a memory long buried had come back to life. She approached him quietly, her steps measured and soft, holding a small silver-wrapped gift. It was not expensive nor meant to impress. Inside was a photo album, one that held fragments of time from their early days filming together. Laughter behind the scenes, candid glances between takes, scribbled notes in the margins of scripts, the kind of memories that fame never manages to erase. When you unwrapped the ribbon and opened the first page, his composure faltered. His eyes glistened, his lips curved into a trembling smile that said more than words ever could. Around him the chatter faded. Even the birthday candles seemed to burn more quietly. For the fans watching through the live stream, it was a moment of pure nostalgia. These were not actors performing for a camera. They were two souls rediscovering the warmth of something genuine, something that once defined a generation's belief in love. Every gesture between them felt natural, unplanned, yet heavy with meaning. Yu's fingers brushed lightly over the photographs, tracing the lines of old memories, while Xing Fei watched silently, her eyes reflecting both tenderness and restraint. It was as if years of distance had collapsed into that single moment of recognition. Nothing about the exchange was theatrical, yet it held the power of a confession. The unspoken emotion between them reached everyone watching. It was a reunion wrapped in grace and quiet vulnerability, reminding the world that sometimes, love doesn't announce itself with grand gestures. Sometimes it returns softly, through a familiar voice, a gentle smile, or the turning of an old page. That night, beneath the soft glow of Beijing's lights, the past and present met again, and for a fleeting heartbeat, everything felt whole. The candles flickered softly, their warm glow casting a golden hue over the room. The chatter from moments ago faded into an almost sacred silence. Menglong stood before his cake, eyes closed, his hands clasped as though holding something fragile, perhaps a wish, perhaps a memory. When he exhaled and the flames went out, the crowd broke into gentle applause, but even through the cheers, there was an unspoken awareness that this was more than just another birthday celebration. The air felt heavy with sentiment, the kind that blurs the line between past and present, between what was and what still lingers. Then through the hush came a voice, soft, trembling but clear. Xing Fei's words carried effortlessly through the quiet. You always try to make everyone else smile, but tonight, let us be the ones to make you happy. For a moment the room stopped breathing. Yu lifted his gaze towards her, and their eyes met across the faint light. It was not the look of two celebrities caught in a nostalgic scene. It was something deeply human, raw, and painfully tender. The corners of his mouth curved in a half-smile, half-confession, as if gratitude and heartbreak had chosen to meet in the same expression. Those few words changed the rhythm of the evening. It was no longer about the cake, the laughter, or the cameras discreetly filming from the corner. It became about two people rediscovering a truth they had never really lost. The distance of years dissolved into the silence that followed her voice. It was as if every unsent message, every word left unspoken, finally found its way between them in that quiet room. Xing Fei's hands trembled slightly, her composure fragile but sincere, while Yu's eyes glistened with a soft vulnerability that few had ever seen from him. For those watching the live stream, tears came easily. They weren't witnessing romance in the ordinary sense, they were witnessing connection, the kind that outlives definition. There was no need for grand declarations or promises of forever. The power lay in the simplicity of the moment. Two hearts acknowledging each other again after years of silence. It was not a reunion of lovers, but of souls, gentle, unhurried, and profoundly healing. In that room, under the dim light and the scent of candle wax, love did not speak. It simply existed. Time has a way of softening even the sharpest memories. As the evening wore on, the laughter quietened, leaving only the gentle hum of conversation and the faint echo of a song still lingering in the air. Menglong sat by the window for a moment, gazing out at the dim lights of Beijing, a city that had witnessed his every triumph and breakdown. Years ago, this same skyline had felt like a promise. Now it looked like a reflection, a mirror of everything he had lived, lost, and learned. Xing Fei, standing a few steps away, seemed to sense his silence. There was no need for words between them. Sometimes understanding flows in the space between what is said and what is felt. They had both grown in the years apart, not only as actors but as people shaped by life's quiet lessons. Yu, who once chased perfection with unrelenting intensity, had learned the cost of forgetting himself in the pursuit of success. The long months of exhaustion and illness that followed had forced him to stop, to listen, and to rediscover what it meant to simply be human. Xing Fei, on the other hand, had carried her own quiet battles, balancing the demands of fame with a heart that still held fragments of their shared past. The way she looked at him that night was not with longing but with understanding, the kind that comes from two souls who have survived the same storms. When asked later about that evening, Yu smiled faintly and said, "Some people come into our lives not to stay forever, but to make them more beautiful." It was a sentence so calm and yet so heavy with truth. It carried the weight of acceptance, the grace of letting go, and the gratitude that lingers when pain finally turns into peace. A few days later, Xing Fei echoed that same spirit in an interview of her own. There are things that don't need to be explained. It's enough to know that someone once made you brave enough to be yourself. Those words, though spoken separately, felt like a conversation continued across time. A dialogue between two hearts that had outgrown regret. That night was not an ending, nor a beginning. It was something quieter, more profound. A moment of closure filled with respect. They had loved, they had lost, and they had learned. And in the soft light of that birthday evening, what remained was not sorrow but gratitude, the kind that whispers, "Thank you for existing in my story." By midnight, social media was flooded with emotion. Hashtags #Menglong birthday and #Xing Fei came to celebrate dominated global trends. Thousands of fans wrote open letters. You may now walk different roads, but every step you take still walks through our hearts. That night was not just a reunion. It was a gentle farewell filled with gratitude, healing, and hope. Because sometimes love doesn't end, it simply transforms. And in the quiet light of a birthday candle, two souls reminded the world that sincerity never goes out of style. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to give it a like and share it with someone who still believes in gentle love. Subscribe to Update X24H for more heartfelt stories from the world of Asian entertainment, where every glance, every memory, and every goodbye has a story worth telling. Thank you for watching, and wherever you are tonight, may you remember, true love doesn't need forever to be real. It only needs a single honest moment. Dizzy.